This is the plaintiff, Karina Carullo. She says she foolishly charged a bunch of Christmas presents on her Amazon card for the defendant because she's such a nice person, and the defendant's reneging on his promise to pay her back in full. Now, she's being charged all sorts of interest on her account. The defendant's ignoring her, blocking her from his social media, and she's here in the good name of the law, suing for every penny of the $942.67 she's owed. This is the defendant, Michael Beaver. He says the plaintiff and his ex-girlfriend at the time made a deal to buy some stuff around Christmas, and they've since broken up. His ex took most of the things she bought. He's paid the plaintiff half of the total amount, even though he doesn't even have half the stuff. And if anyone owes the plaintiff money, it's his ex-girlfriend. Certainly not him. He's accused of not settling up.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff charged Christmas presents on her Amazon card for the defendant, and the defendant stiffed her. But the defendant says the plaintiff made the deal with his girlfriend. They broke up, so she should go after her. It's the case of Amazon woman.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Carullo, you are suing Mr. Beaver for $942.67 that you say he owes you for money that you fronted for his Christmas presents to his kids, and he's never repaid you, fully repaid you. Correct? All right, what happened here?
I knew the defendant from my ex-boyfriend, and his wife and him had split up, and he was staying with his, at the time, girlfriend, who was a friend also of mine, and they were talking about Christmas, and they didn't have a Christmas tree.
How did you all know each other?
Through a motorcycle club.
Are you a member of the motorcycle club?
I'm not, no.
Was your now ex-boyfriend at that time your boyfriend?
Yes.
And was he a member of the motorcycle?
He was.
Okay. What's that tattooed on your chest?
Sometimes it sucks to be a soldier.
Okay, and why?
Because of stuff like this.
No, but meaning a soldier in what war? What are you talking about?
Just in life.
Okay.
In life in general.
All right, go on.
But yeah, I knew the defendant from the motorcycle club, and I was over at him and his girlfriend's house, and they didn't have a Christmas tree, and it was a few days before Christmas, and they were saying how they were going to have money, they just didn't have it now, and I had offered to let him use my Amazon card, and to, well, first we went and got a Christmas tree from Walmart, and his girlfriend at the time had offered to pay me back for that, and he said if I use my credit card that he would pay me payments until he got his taxes, and then he would pay me in full.
Okay, so you were bringing Christmas to the household.
Yes.
And he was going to pay you back. And what did Christmas consist of for the household?
Well, he actually got some beds as well, because they were in a 2-bedroom condo, and he has 4 daughters, and they, I got bunk beds, mattresses, we got the daughter's shoes, all their shoes, tablets, I think they got a PlayStation.
Nothing says necessity like a tablet and a PlayStation.
Exactly.
Well, what, you know.
I mean,
if he doesn't have the money to pay for the stuff, there's a reason.
Well, no, I mean, he had worked as far as I had known. He had always worked. I didn't.
Well, how did you know that?
Because he was, during club events, he would be coming from work and stuff like that.
Okay, so he's out of a job at that point.
I didn't know that he was out of a job at that point.
She didn't tell you?
No,
Were you out of a job at that point?
No, ma'am.
When did you lose your job? Did you lose your job or no?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
When did you lose your job?
Second week of December.
Okay, so, well, second week of December, that comes before Christmas. When were you buying the Christmas gifts?
He was currently at work when we placed the order. He still had his job that day, as far as I was concerned.
Okay, can I ask, what Christmas are we talking about? 2016?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so he pays a few of the payments. He pays $250. He's supposed to pay $250 every month.
Until he got his taxes.
Did you have anything in writing with him?
No. We placed the order. We were on the phone with him.
Do you have any emails with him or anything?
I have lots of messages on Facebook where, you know, after he had quit making the payments. Where he said, you know, he's lost his job, then he was starting a new job.
Let's see those. What happened here? Why aren't you paying up?
Well, Your Honor, everything's true all the way up to the agreement. I didn't even know the purchases were made until after the end of my shift. She made all these purchases while I was at work.
Except for that some of these purchases involved shoes for your children.
Yes, ma'am. I don't deny that.
Right.
The purchases were all made.
But see, they can't purchase the shoes without asking you what's your kid's shoe size. How does she know all your kids' shoe size?
That was my girlfriend.
Okay.
So she went over there and ordered the stuff while I was at work. I wasn't even home.
So what is your premise? Your premise is that you didn't agree to any of this? Is that your premise?
I didn't have any knowledge of the order until after the order was already placed. I had asked for a couple of days to try, and I was trying to sell my motorcycle.
What difference does it make? You had the couple of days. Did you make the money and then pay back the order? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right. So I don't think you're telling me the truth, because I then saw you pay $250 a month for a while. So
I paid almost up to $900 of it.
Yeah, exactly. For a guy who says, hey, this is my ex-girlfriend's problem. By the way, she wrote a letter to the court. She hates you.
Good.
What'd you do to her?
I left.
Okay. I can't even read most of the stuff, and she knows she's writing to a judge. She's a piece of work. I am writing this letter on behalf of Karina Carullo. I was in a very short-term relationship with Mr. Michael Beaver, a.k.a., I won't use the word she used, from October 2016 until January 2016. Mr. Beaver had full custody of his 4 young daughters under the age of 10, in which I ended up taking full responsibility for due to him moving them into my home when they were left homeless. They were all infested with lice and other issues that I was forced to treat. When Christmas time came around, he had been in and out of jobs and was unable to provide a Christmas tree for his children. For months, I'd been providing for his family of 5 in my 2-bedroom condo, and his friends and club brothers were aware of this. Therefore, one of the old ladies, or wives, Miss Carullo, you weren't married to...
I was not.
But that's what they call you, old ladies?
That's
it's so
what
cliche.
They call me.
It's so cliche.
It is.
I offered to help him with Christmas for his children. I had nothing to do with this club, as I was a newcomer. He proceeded to take the invitation, and with direction from Mr. Beaver, I met Miss Carullo at her place of work to order gifts for his children online. Mr. Beaver was on the phone with us when we placed the order. Is that true?
It is.
Okay, and what was he doing on the phone with you?
We were finding out the sizes. I also wanted to make sure...
Sizes of what?
The children's shoes.
Okay.
And what kind of items he wanted us to get, and...
like meaning brands, meaning what?
No, just what sizes, and we were just trying to stay relatively cheap because there's 4 children, and we wanted to get them beds. We tried to stay relatively cheap, and I also wanted to make sure he was, aware of the exact total before I processed the order.
Okay. How many bunk beds did you buy?
Two separate bunk beds and mattresses.
So that each kid would have a place to sleep. What happened with the bunk beds?
I don't even have them.
Why not?
I have one set.
Why?
My ex kept everything. She kept a set of the bunk beds. She kept the 2 oldest kids' shoes because she could fit them. She kept the tablets. The only thing my kids left with was one set of bunk beds, a couple
What was so
pairs
nasty?
of shoes
What was the reason for the
youngest
breakup?
kid.
She sounds like a woman scorned.
Her son passed away. My son passed away 2 years before that. I went to a dark place, and I couldn't take anymore. I lost my son 2 years prior. It went to a very bad situation, and for my safety and my kids' safety, I left.
Yeah,
that's what the relationship ended for.
Say that?
Her son was murdered. So.
Her son was murdered?
Yes, ma'am.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Cut her some slack. When does he stop paying?
He actually gave me, when his taxes came, I asked him about his taxes. He kept making excuses with that. He said he would give me another payment. I told him there would be late fees, and that's all in the Facebook messages as well, where he said, I'll pay any fees, I'll pay any late payments.
Do you have the actual statement so I can see what you are out?
I do. I have this, I kept a ledger.
No, not your handwriting.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
just you saying
My
the same thing you're
statements?
saying in court.
Yes.
I want the actual statement so I can see what you're out.
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you pay it in full?
I paid everything. I paid the minimum payments because I was getting worried towards the end when he quit making payments and all the excuses he was making towards paying another payment. I got nervous because I didn't want it to affect my credit or so I started making.
So he would pay you $250, but you would pay a minimum payment of
no,
what?
No, I paid whatever he paid towards it, towards the end when he wasn't making any.
Then you started paying the
yeah,
minimum
because they
payment.
charge the late fees. It's Amazon
So
credit
you
card.
avoided the late fees, but you were charged the interest.
Towards the end, yeah. After in July when I told him, interest is going to start accruing because they backdate it for whatever. I had a financing promotion.
Where you had to pay every month in full, otherwise you'd be paying backdated interest. I just
right.
need to see proof of all the things
I have
you're
a
saying.
statement. I'm sorry. Yes.
So if you're not supposed, so if your testimony is, hey, this is between my ex and her, I have nothing to do with this. Why is it that you're answering on Facebook messages saying, I'm trying to find out where my check is right now. I'm working on it, honey. I promise. As soon as my check comes in, I can't even buy gas or anything. Why is it that you're saying, I'll pay, I'll pay, I'll pay?
Because I did feel I owed some of it. I'm not going to say that I wasn't
Well, you don't say I owe some of it.
entitled.
You
I
say I'll
wasn't.
pay. There's nothing about some of it. They're your kids.
Further down in the messages, there are things of that nature, saying that I don't even have the possession.
Oh, when you finally decided that she should be left holding the bag? Are you still in the motorcycle club?
No, ma'am, I left.
Are you still, you're not like an old lady in the
No, ma'am. Prior to him leaving,
you sure that tattoo around your neck doesn't mean something else I don't know about?
Yeah, I was very short-lived in the club. I have known.
When did you get the tattoo? This is so permanent.
Yeah, they are. I actually got it.
Yeah, the others, like, you know, it sucks to be a soldier is kind of, you know.
I mean, it just had a
lot. Does that mean something? I don't know.
Yes, ma'am, it does.
What's it mean?
So if you loan money to somebody and they stiff you, does it deter you from being charitable in the future?
On a short-term basis, yes. After a while, you know, times heals, and then you tend to forgive. But
fair enough. So what do you say? I mean, it's kind of a human nature question. Does it deter you from being generous to somebody in the future?
For me, yes, but I would learn to forgive.
You're what?
I would learn to forgive them.
Okay. Anybody? One more.
Not really. It depends. So I will make a contract next time.
Oh, that's smart. Very smart. That's good. Going inside the courtroom.
Her ex was accused of involuntary manslaughter when a man lost his life at our clubhouse. And that's where that tattoo came from.
But why does that make her a soldier?
Because she was involved in it, all their personal life that was going on at home. She went out and got that tattoo 2 days after he was arrested.
But how does that phrase mean that as opposed to?
Sucks to be a soldier. She was part of the soldier of the black and blue. That's what it was. She was part of that.
What's a soldier of the black and blue?
Member of the club. She was there. She was always with us. Every time we turn around, she was there. If there was something going on and an old lady needed to be attended, she was there. She was one of them. She was part of, I mean, she showed up to every event.
So what does the phrase mean? It sucks to be.
That's her corner phrase. I don't know where that came from.
So you don't know. That's not a thing.
I know it came right after the incident with her ex.
Okay.
And it was directly related to that because she come to my house after that with him.
Okay. Listen, any problems you have with your ex, the property that she didn't return, that's a different lawsuit for a different day for a different judge between you and your ex. I have one case in front of me, and that's that when you couldn't provide Christmas for 4 kids, somebody stepped up to the plate, and that's the person who got left holding the bag. And when I see evidence of you paying the $250, begging for more time, acknowledging that you owe a debt, thanking her for her generosity, and all of a sudden, what now when you and your ex aren't getting along, all of a sudden, yeah, you're on your own. How would that be appropriate or fair or right? It's not. That's the answer to that. So show me all of your statements.
I just have the one.
Why do you just have one when you're suing on all?
I just want the money that he owed me from the balance. The late fees that he agreed to, there was the 2 that
Which
he
are
agreed
what?
to, $25 each.
And those he agreed to in the Facebook post?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And
$83.23 in interest.
I'm going to award you that as well. I think that's appropriate because if you're having to use your money to pay his payments, that's not appropriate. I'm ordering him to pay you the $634.44, that's the balance, the 2 late fees that he acknowledges on the messages, and the $83.23 in interest payments, for a total of $767.67. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff prevails. She's going to get over $750 back. Mr. Beaver, what's your reaction to being sued? This case goes back quite a ways. It's an old story.
Jealous. I don't know. I honestly can't tell you.
Why do you say jealous? She's out money, you know? That's not jealous.
It wasn't my money. I didn't sign a paper. You didn't see my signature on anything. I didn't agree to it. I was at work, just like I told her. I wasn't even there when the purchases were made, so how am I responsible for it? I don't even have half the possessions that I'm supposed to be paying for. So now I get to go home and pay for possessions that are not even in my house. I have to go home and pay for a pair of shoes that aren't even on my kids' feet. I'm not happy. I'm ready to leave. You have a great day.
You can go. Okay, that way. All right, Ms. Carullo. Kind of a mess, huh?
Yeah.
You finally decided to come to court after a long time.
Yeah.
6 months, no payment from him.
Correct.
This was your only choice, right?
Right.
Okay. This has been sad. Have you learned anything from this? I bet you have.
I tend to help people a lot in situations, especially when kids are involved, and I'm starting to realize that it's not always such a good idea if the parents can't provide. There's usually a reason why. So,
you know, you might be right. Yeah. It's sad, but you might be right. Thank you very much.
Thank
you must
you.
sign a few documents. And Harvey?
You know what, Doug? I was going to talk about, how you protect yourself. She actually said it better than me, so I'm leaving it at that.